Hi everyone, this is Annalisa. Welcome back. So today I'm going to do my drawing for my ColourArte Summer Splash giveaway, and I wanted to make sure that everyone got to see how the person was chosen. So I pulled my YouTube URL, added it in this comment picker, and I had to answer a small math problem, and then it told me how many comments were on the video, and from there I was able to then go and click start to pick my winner. Congratulations, Michelle Brewster. Michelle, you've won a set of prism pours of your choosing. All you need to do is go to the ColourArte website and fill out the form. I will leave a link in the description below. Thank you everyone that commented and participated in our ColourArte Summer Splash collaboration. I read every single one of your comments and appreciate all of the kind things that you guys had to say. Thank you so much. So, on to the pour. I decided that I wanted to do the most colorful thing that I possibly could imagine, so I started with my two base layer paints were fluid acrylics that I had mixed with ColourArte interference pigments, because some of you may have already watched quite a few of my videos and know that I'm a sucker for interference pigments. And so one thing to note when you're doing any kind of swipe where you are trying to cover a large area, like beyond, when you're trying to do a swipe that's not a negative space swipe, the best thing to do instead of putting lines of color is actually to put color across the canvas, all the way across, because you are going to load your palette knife or your playing cards or whatever it is that you've decided to use to swipe across your paint. It's just gonna more evenly distribute color everywhere. And I really like putting interference colors in the middle as well. Actually, interference colors go perfectly everywhere. I really do love them. So I'm still working on ideas for a how I pick my colors video, and I'm thinking this is going to turn into more of a ongoing thing versus a one single video on how I pick my colors. I have a very short attention span, so sitting there and picking a whole bunch of colors all at once, you won't get as good of you won't be able to see my process nearly as well as if I were to show you guys how I pick my colors as I'm picking them. So watch out for upcoming videos that will be, we'll kind of talk a little bit more about how I picked the colors that went with the pour. I'm gonna start trying to do a little bit more of explaining it. When I do swipes though, it's literally just a laundry basket of you throw in everything but the kitchen sink, because the brighter the better. And you can of course do a few colors, but if you want a bright, bold swipe, you want a lot of color. And you want dual tone pigments, that's like amber wing, and pinks are my favorite to put on top. I really enjoy making these ones. Originally, I started out this pour with the intent to do a large palette knife swipe, and I decided that's not what I wanted to do. A week or two back, I had done a swipe with playing cards, and I thought that it would be a lot of fun to try to replicate it only with the white pillow instead of the black, just to see what the difference was in how my pigments appeared. And it actually was quite interesting to see the difference. I will say I do prefer a black pillow. But that being said, this one was actually really cool. I did buy some more white pillow to do a few more tests. I found that the color to go white isn't nearly as hard to predict as some of the others, so I'll give it some more tries. For this swipe, I dual layered my cell activators. I started with my Amsterdam Pearl White, and then I put my lamp black under it. And for any of you that don't know, my cell activator is made with Australian Floetrol and Amsterdam lamp black or pearl white paint. I find lamp black is probably one of my favorites to make cell activator with. I feel like it structurally holds up better, and I have less chances of it having issues. For some reason, whenever I use whites to make cell activators, it just doesn't work as well. And I've experimented with all kinds of different white paints. I've just decided that ultimately I do prefer the black cell activator to colored ones or to white ones. So I haven't pursued trying to get the white to work real well for that exact reason. I'm perfectly happy with my black cell activator for the most part. I will say though, my favorite color paint to make cell activator with is golden fluorescent magenta. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. That is quite literally like the coolest cell activator if you're gonna do a bright, super crazy bold statement piece. I like doing it on the top of like all black negative space swipes that have interference pigments. It makes a really cool effect. I will say these card swipes, I like them. However, I don't know about you, but doing so many squiggles all over the place, my OCD kicks in really bad, and I try to make it perfectly even all the way around and then realize that I can't. I don't know how it is that my OCD is just fine with just about every other type of pour. For some reason, these ones, though, they kick it up. But once it's spun out, I don't have that problem. So it's literally just when I'm doing the swiping that I have the problem. Does anyone else have that? Like, just randomly come out of nowhere just as you're doing the swipe? Like, doesn't affect me one bit if it's not symmetrical or even afterwards. I actually prefer it that way. But when I'm doing the swipes, I always end up trying to make it symmetrical. I don't really know why. If anything, I actually go in and wreck it more when it's symmetrical, so that's an interesting observation that I never actually thought through. So, my next few my next week or two is going to be kind of interesting. Some of you know that I put 50 paintings in a local art gallery for a solo exhibit, and they'll be taken down at the end of the month, but the bigger ones are going to be moved up to the hospital. Our local hospital has a gallery space where artists display their artwork, and I will have paintings up there for 2 months. And I'm really excited, but actually really nervous, and I'm not entirely sure why. But I think it's more because of when people don't feel good, I want to help them feel better. And I really am hopeful that that'll happen with the pieces that I have hanging up at the hospital. I know color always makes me feel better. So, I want to remind everyone, when you're doing your swirls, it's never too late to add more. You can add them at any point of your spin, and sometimes you get to the very end and find that your cells don't look right in like one area. You can actually add in cells. I've recently forgotten to point it out, but I am using embossing tools to do my swirls and pop my bubbles. I'll have a link in the description that shows a pack that's very similar to the one that I use. More like the ones that I use, multiple. I find having different size tips to be extremely helpful because like the bigger ones can help you smooth bubbles that have popped so that your color evens out and you're not stuck with the pillow showing through in an area you don't really want it to. And the super microscopic one is the best that I've found for doing the swirls at the very end of a pour. It really does make all the difference to have something with like that micro fine tip on it. Anyway, that's my pour, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And again, congratulations to Michelle Brewster. I hope you enjoy your pack of prism pours. You're gonna love them. They're my absolute favorite. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, please consider subscribing. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.